Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. So I was just sitting here, just kind of feeling down on myself, I guess. I have I have been dealing with some health issues, obviously, um and apparently, like, I have extended family and so forth that would is willing to help me a little financially, and so forth, and get things started with things, and so I can get some stuff done. And they were fully aware of this. They've been aware of it for a long time now, and Um, I'm talking about like 8, 9 months or so forth, and I have been talking about it. I've been mentioning it and everything, and I'm I'm trying not to flash you guys, um, but and so I don't know. It just seems like, have you ever felt like you're like a part of you're in your family, your family loves you, even your extended family, they love you and everything, and they'll support you and everything, and no matter what, but there's been times when you really feel like there's been times you feel like they dropped the ball. And instead of, I guess, owning up to it, you kind of feel like they, I don't know, it just feels like you're the last one on the list of things to get done, I guess. Granted, my issues is medical, and everyone else in the family, it seems like there's things are not, yes, they're important, and those things get taken care of almost immediately, but mine seems to always be a process. It seems like it's always I'm the last one to, like, either I have to wait, or I have to, like, again, like I said, it's a process, or I've been told, oh, it's getting worked on, but it's not. It kind of isn't being worked on. I don't know, and I can't prove this or disprove otherwise. And I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I'm just kind of in my feels at the moment. It just feels like that I need that reassurance from them that, that it's not purposely done, even though they say it's not purposely done, and they're not ignoring me. They're not, it's not, you know, anything personal like that. But it's so hard not to feel that way when you see other people in the family who have requests, and those requests get met almost immediately, but mine has been pushed back, or it's been, I guess, feels like forgotten because there's no updates, or every time I ask about updates about things, I get told that it's just that they're working on it. That's all I get told on, or they're waiting to hear from somebody else, or whatever. And it just gets to the point where it just gets old. And I'm not saying all this because you know I'm grateful, because I really am truly grateful. It's just, I just feel that, I just feel like I needed to vent a little bit, and the people I feel like that I thought I could vent to in my that are also in my family, it feels like it's the wrong people to vent to, because they don't understand. Because when they need something, it always gets met, almost immediately, and no questions asked. And me, on the other hand, it's like, I don't know. And guarantee, I understand that my what I'm requesting, what I need, is gonna it cost a lot more, and I understand that it takes time, and I understand that there is a process and paperwork and things like that that has to be in order for things to move along those protocols. I understand that, but it just feels like nothing has even been started, even though I put in a request a year ago. It's like, and meanwhile, I'm sitting like a ticking time bomb, because it something happens while I've been waiting. I mean, what's plan B? I don't have one, and that's another issue. And I'm like, who? I mean, then what's gonna happen? So I don't know. And I feel like I'm not saying I'm deserving of anything of such. I'm not saying that I should come first and it should immediately, like, I snap my fingers, it should happen. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, though, it just feels like, if you come from a family that, if a lot, let's say several people, in your family rely on one or two people to carry the load and to help out on things, like, especially financially, you kind of think that, it seems like either whatever need is more important needs to come first, or whatever's cheapest could come first, depending on the situations. What each thing is, should be individually based. And typically, and the others would understand that, and I just think it's kind of crazy because comparably, what others in the family have gotten already needs have been met. I feel like those things could have waited a little bit, comparably to mine. And my request was put in, should say, uh, way before theirs was. And it's like, but theirs got met before mine. And I understand that it takes more than, I know there's external forces in order to get mine done. There's other people outside the family that have to be involved in order for mine to kind of be met. But it just sucks. It just feels like um, there's, like, whenever there's an opportunity, to get things rolling, it's like there's always a reason why it can't be done. And it's not that, and there's some things that I can probably help to do to get things rolling that I can do myself, but I don't have all the information that I need, but they do, and the lack of delegating doesn't happen, and so it makes me even more frustrated. And then I feel like I'm on a broken record every time we talk because I bring it up, and I don't want it to be awkward every time we hang out, because all I'm thinking in my head is we're supposed to have fun and hang out, and yet I'm sitting here in the back of my head thinking, y'all are talking about good old times, you're talking about doing this and that or whatever it is, and I'm thinking, I'm still waiting for my turn, I guess, in line. And it just feels like, have you ever felt like that? Like, if you're that person in the family that feels like, they're not doing it purposely, but at the same time, you feel like you can't justify the actions, you know? So, I don't know. I don't, I'm not trying to be ungrateful, and I'm very grateful. Whatever happens, happens, but at the same time, it's like, and I'm grateful I do have family, and I'm grateful I've got a support system, but, and I'm grateful thus far, and they're fully aware of how grateful I am. I make sure that they know, in many ways, and I do my best to try to limit any requesting of some sorts, some sort. I can't say that word right. Some sort. There we go. But it just, I don't know. It just kind of feels like, I don't want to say like the black sheep of the family, but I feel like it, it just feels like you always get the short end of the stick. I mean, it's like, even like if you request things like, let's say for like Christmas time, granted, you're never guaranteed your Christmas wish list, you know what I mean? But when they request one from you and say, hey, what would you like? And do you have a Christmas list? Something like that. I hardly ever make them, but I got tired of them always asking me, so I come up with some things, and from various things that would cost from nothing to, maybe some things that are, on the higher end list, no more than a couple $100, So I usually stay within a good equal range, and I'm fine if I get at least one thing. I'm okay with that. I've always been fine with that, especially the older I got, I'm fine with it. I'm actually the one who's the gift giver. I love giving gifts. That's my thing. I enjoy seeing other people opening up my presents. That's what I get out of it. And that's just my thing. But it's even at Christmas time, it seems like, even in our family, it seems like I feel like there's been times when I have been told, "Oh, I want to give you your, I want to, I'm going to get your present, but it's going to have to wait a little while." Okay, Christmas comes the same time every year, and you ask for a list, I give you a list months ahead of time, as much as I can. And then, but sometimes I understand sales, I understand financial things, I understand it was sold out, whatever, I understand those things happen. But if it's going on, you know, Easter, by the time, and it hasn't happened, it's like, it feels like, why did I even bother, Um, that's happened to me several times over the years, and it's like, I try not to let it bother me, because I get it, it's just one of those things. I mean, but I feel like I have to be that one that has to take the hit, and I'm tired of always taking the hit. And I feel like but when it comes to, not just, besides, when it comes to my health versus Christmas presents, it's like, you're well aware of my issues for almost a year now. And I feel like I even said, you know what? I know approximately how much it may run. If it helps, when I come to you for help, financially, and I said, if it helps, I'll try to hold on until maybe after the holidays. Maybe, in January we can do something and get things started. And I was told, that's fine. Yes, that'll help. But it didn't happen. And then, okay, January comes. February comes. We're now at the end of March, going in April. And I'm like, before you know it, I mean, it's the middle of the year again. And I'm back where I was, it'll be almost a year that I put a request in. And like I said, I understand things have happened between the time when I requested to the time now. And I understand financial things that happened. And granted, some of those financial things that did happen were my fault, but I am paying on that. I am paying that, and I've been making payments and so forth to help that part of things, because if I did put you in a bind, I actually have been meeting, I'm trying to meet my promise, or my end of the deal, and I have not missed it yet. I've been doing it, and the best I can. And in fact, but so, and I've been told, don't worry about it, just whatever you can do, you can do. So I'm assuming that it should not have been, I guess, a hold or held against me of why it's taken this long for my request to be met, But like I said, I'm not trying to sound ungrateful. I really am not. And I know there's going to be haters on here that's going to come out here and we talk about, girl, you just got to do you for you, do it yourself. If you want to get done, whatever. It's easier said than done. And a lot of times it doesn't work that way. And if you have a support system there, why do it yourself and cause more stress and more, stretched out thin, when you have someone or some people in your family that are willing to help you out, who claim they're willing to help you out. And I understand for this specific thing, it requires external people to help out as well. And I understand there's a waiting with that. I understand there need, senators or whatever else involved, but it just feels like nothing has got started. And it should have been started a long time ago. And I'm just feeling, I guess I'm just in my feels at the moment. And I really don't want any hate comments on this. I just really want to resonate because I know you guys, I know there's some of you guys out there, you know, you have family, even extended families or whatever members that are always, you always have that one or two people you can always go to, regardless if it's financial or emotional or whatever, some kind of support system. And, but you feel like you're either being ignored or you're being forgotten about, or you're left to feel like it's not as important, even though it is. And compared to everybody else's request, you know, and it just feels that way. And I I guess I'm just in my feels right now, and I just wanted to vent a little bit. I mean, I could vent to my husband, which I have, and it just feels like he defends more than helps me out. I don't know. And he kind of feels like I'm complaining at him than I am, you know, to him about my issues, you know. So it's just going to start an argument with him and I. So I just, you know, I feel like I can't keep it to myself either. And I do have a therapist, trust me. But I've already spoke to my therapist today, but this was before all this happened, and we didn't get around to talking about this. So, um, maybe next week, who knows? But I just feel like I just had to get it out there, and I just wanted to see if anybody else out there, you can comment down below. I mean, I don't think I'm looking for an answer. I'm just looking for to know that be told. I guess I'm told that, you know, I'm not crazy here, hopefully, maybe, and maybe I'm just kind of just, you know, yes, I know I'll get over it. I know things are going to happen for me. It's just, I just feel like I'm playing Russian roulette the longer I wait. And I just don't want to go down that road because if it does happen, it's going to be so painful. And I just don't want to deal with that. And I've been down that road once before and it was so traumatizing. And I don't want to do it again. And they know, they're aware of that because they were there. And they know. And it just feels like I don't think they understand how of a dire need this really is. So I just feel like I need, I guess I'm just looking for some type of outlet right now. I'm just kind of venting. Um, yeah, like I said, and I can't reiterate this even more. I'm not trying to sound entitled. If I come off entitled, I'm not trying to sound entitled. I'm grateful I have family. I'm grateful that I have extended family. I'm grateful to have the people in my life that I do. I'm grateful to have the help that I can get and all that I can get externally from outside the family and inside the family. I'm grateful for that. Don't get me wrong with that. It just that sometimes it just feels like but it's the bigger things that need to be that I need help with. It's that's the things that it feels like is being ignored or forgotten, even though I've been told constantly that I'm not that they're not ignoring me and that they're not, you know, that they are working on things. But I feel like, but every time I ask for updates, I get told the same things, and it's just like for months and months and months, and you feel like, are they really doing this, or are they just telling you just to say, well, I'm working on it, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you know, and they have a hard time delegating things, and I feel like if if there's anything I can do on my end, you know, let me help, let me try, but I feel like that's not being done, even though it can be done, but I feel like it's not getting done, so I don't know. But anyways, guys, I guess this video has been long enough. It's long enough for me to vent. I just wanted to get this out there, I guess. I just wanted to get it off my chest. I didn't want to go to bed feeling the way I feel. So maybe I'll get better. I may post an update once I know something. And I guess I will see you guys in the next one. Comment down below. Please do not be mean. Please be nice. And I will see you guys in the next one, okay? All right. Y'all have a good night. All right. Bye.